Growing concerns tonight over a nationwide meat shortage. Some processing plants have shut down due to COVID-19, and now the president is taking action to prevent further disruption. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan reports.
The coronavirus is impacting America's food supply in more ways than one. It's infecting workers who help supply it and changing where and how Americans consume it.
I think the issue is we've seen consumer demand 40–50% normal.
Perishable items are particularly difficult. Some farmers have had no choice but to plow crops as fresh produce rots.
We are trying to repiece all of our supply chains to really threw a grenade into the middle of our food supply chain.
The meat business is also suffering. Plants are shutting down as workers become infected. Tyson, Smithfield, and JBS have all closed processing plants. The Tyson chairman wrote in a published letter, millions of animals, including pigs, cattle, and chickens, will be depopulated because of the closures. He added, quote, "The food supply chain is breaking."
If you're a pork producer in the United States today, it's a nightmare.
The White House says President Trump will use the Defense Production Act to order meat processing facilities stay open. The president will declare the plants are critical infrastructure, and the government will supply them with personal protective equipment.
There's plenty of supply.
New CDC guidance explains workers cannot get COVID-19 from the meat, but they can get it from each other. The CDC says it's best for plant employees to work at least 6 feet apart with partitions between them. They also suggest staggering shifts and break times and screening workers before they start. As for shoppers, the FDA says there's no evidence the virus can spread through food or packaging. Ray Bogan, Fox News.